Hey class, Mr. Modine here with a video to help you with a particular kind of problem dealing with expected value, sort of intersecting the idea of expected value with what we talked about earlier, which is finance. So this problem says, suppose a stock price is currently at $78. Through your research, you estimate a 32% chance of it staying at $78 this week, a 36% chance of the price rising to $100, perhaps they have a brand new product or some new breakthrough in their research, and possibly a 32% chance of it dropping to $50 on some sort of bad news for that company. The question is, what is your expected return on investment if you buy the stock now, presumably to sell it at the end of the week? So essentially what this question is asking is, what is the expected value of this investment? So if you recall, expected value, the fancy way of writing it is the sum, which is the symbol right here, of your payoffs times your probabilities of those payoffs, right? So in layman's terms, what that means is how much money could you get from a certain prize or certain investment times the chance of it happening. You add up all of the possible prizes and possible chances of those prizes. And I'm saying prize, it's not a gamble, although one can make the argument that stocks and gambling have quite a bit in common. So there's a couple possibilities here. The one possibility is that the price stays at $78. So the payoff then would be to have an item worth, in this case a stock certificate, worth $78. Well, what's the chance of that happening? $78, let me write that a bit better. The chance of that happening we estimate to be 36% chance of it, 32% chance of it staying there. So 0.32, be sure to use a decimal value. 0.32 that it stays there. It might go up to $100, and the chance of that happening, we guesstimate, well, I say guesstimate, presumably there's some stock researchers that say that it could go up to that with a 36% chance. And of course our investment could go sour. It could go down to $50, and the chance of that happening is also 32%. And you'll notice these probabilities add up to make 100%, right? It could go up, could go down, could stay the same. So if we calculate the expected value, all we do is we multiply these products and then add those products together. So we can actually do that in one step in the calculator because this is fairly straightforward. So let me get caught up here. We got 78 times the chance of it happening, plus 100 times the chance of it happening, plus 50 times its probability. And we get $76.96. $76.96. Well, if you recall, the price of the stock is actually $78, isn't it? So if we take away the $78, then how much did we actually make? In this case, I think you can see what's happened. We actually lose $1.04, so negative $1.04. Now, losing $1 has different meanings. Let me explain. If you play a game and it only costs 5 cents, losing $1 has a certain value to it, right? You lost quite a bit compared to what you spent, which was 5 cents. Which, how does that work? It's a different story. Let's say, by contrast, you spend a lot of money and you only lose $1. Like, for example, you spend $10,000 and you only lose $1. That's not the worst thing that could happen. So we need to figure out what is this amount relative to, right? Losing $1 here out of what? Well, our original investment, if you recall, was $78. So we take the expected value, which is in this case negative, unfortunately, divided by $78, because 1 out of that 78 is what we are potentially going to lose. And the return here is going to be a decimal value. So that previous amount, which we have in the calculator already, divided by the amount we invested, and that gives us a decimal. Let me make that into a percent, just because these quantities normally are in finance. So multiply by 100%. It's a negative 1.33% loss, which in this case is not a very good return, is it? You expect to get positive gain, and in this case it looks like The chance of an increase is highest, but it's not enough to overcome the fairly high chance of a very dramatic decrease. So in this case, our expected return is negative 1.33%. Not a very good investment. But that's how it happens sometimes. All right, hope this helps.